Hey everybody, Snigby here from Snigby Gaming, getting ready to jump in and record a little bit more of Factorio. Before we get started, just a reminder that this content is not intended for an audience under the age of 13. If you're a youngster and want to see some content like this, please, this is not the channel for you. So I need you to go ahead and exit out of the video. And if you want to watch this, I'm sure if you go and talk to your parents, they'll give you permission, but I'm not going to give you permission because it's not intended for children under the age of 13. Okay, COPPA warning out of there, so we'll go ahead and get started. Last time, I went ahead and worked on a little bit of stuff in between episodes. I went ahead and built up a full array of what are these things? Electric generators. You notice we're popping right about the 5 megawatts out there. If we look at an hour out here, you can see that we've had a little bit of demand going on, so we're doing pretty good for what's going on here as we go. Still just running the starter base over here. I guess it's a little jump start base. Ready to work on that. So got a little very small smelting array down through here. Went ahead and finished up the array here for our iron and our copper. I left a little bit running to the south to go ahead and feed the jumpstart base, but the rest of it's actually going up north. Got this little section here of mixed content. One of the great things about Factorio these days is that your splitters have this ability to do the filter, and so I've just got a filter here saying all of my iron goes out to the left here, or to the right here, goes into our 4-way splitter because I only had 3 lanes going up there, and all is good. Coal, got 2 lines of coal coming in. We could add a couple more miners on here if we need to, but everything's going pretty well right now. And last but not least, we have our stone here. I did go ahead and add stone and coal in, and I built out a little mini mall or mini bus here. I believe I did this off camera. If this is a repeat, please forgive me. But basically, I designed it to be a bot mall or bot belts here. So where I have these assembly machines, that's where my what are they called? Oh, those dadgum whatchamacallits. Roboports. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's the name I'm looking for, is Roboport. That's where the Roboport's going to go, and we'll put one every 4 lines here. So what I have here is a line right here for science to come south, or come back down. I have a line, 4 lines of copper, 4 lines of iron. I have 2 lines of steel and a line of coal and a line of stone. So that will be the initial bit here. Eventually we'll go ahead and add in our green and red circuits and purple circuits down through here, and we've got another 4 out through here. If we need to extend this bus further on down, the belts will just, or the bots will go here, and that'll stay into coverage further on down the road. So that's where I stand right now. I did go ahead and put in a bit of a buffer here like we were talking about. It's almost full, both on the iron and the copper. They're filling up pretty quickly. And I did go ahead and put a very small buffer on the steel over here, just 1 line as we went. Again, this the steel is your typical, or this iron and copper are your typical stone furnaces. And then when we got to our steel, previously in previous episodes, I'd run the one that had the 4 lines running out there. But I saw Nilos actually making this version, and I really liked it. And if you were had a good eye at the end of the last episode, you might have noticed that right here, let's go ahead and hold this. Right here, I'd actually put in a belt, and basically my stone just kept going down. I didn't get any coal going down through there. It was a mess, so I had to go and clean that up. But we did straighten that up, and as you can see, we do have a couple of chests of steel here, and it's trying to fill those up to give us a little buffer from that. Okay, so what are we going to do next? So I've got the smelting lined out. By the way, I had set up for 4 arrays of each, copper and iron, 2 arrays of steel. We can go ahead and extend that if we need to, or by that time I'll probably be bringing things in a different manner. Also, I do know that this is definitely not enough iron or copper here, so we'll have to come out and pick up, maybe there's 32 million iron. Here's another 29 million iron, so we can actually bring iron in. Got some oil out here we'll be bringing up and putting on our bus eventually. Haven't seen any copper recently, so there's a little copper right here. We can pull that in, but as our covered area goes out a little bit further, we'll be able to go ahead and find that copper. And worst case, I'll just go back to my first episode and find out where that copper is, and we'll drag a train out there. All right. So the first thing I want to do here is actually build out basically green circuits. And I've got a decision to make. Do I build the circuits to the left or to the right? If I build them to the left, I pretty much got a demarcation line. I'm not going to go any further to the left here with my belts. So this is probably the best place to do it. We'll go ahead and put the green circuits here. Once I get the green circuits going, then I can go ahead and get the red and green sciences going. And I have the sciences pulled up here. If you'll notice, I am focusing on a couple of quality of life. So get the electric distribution, get the medium power and large power poles. I got to get the engines, got to get the fluid handling so we can get on further down the road. But I am still basically pushing to get to bots as quick as I can. All right, so let's go ahead and let's drag, before we go drag our belts, let's look at what we have here. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab some more belt from our quick jumpstart base here. Looks like I have plenty of assembly machine 1s. We'll eventually recycle those into assembly machines 2. But for right now, that's fine. And we'll get another bunch of transport belts, yellow, slow, and we'll drag those up here. All right. Oops, let's turn that around. And I'll give myself a little bit of room here. We'll go ahead and start our build. Let's say we got to come at least out to here. Right there. All right. And again, if we're going to do green circuits require iron plate and copper cables. We bring the copper in, we bring the iron in, and then we got our green circuits going back out. Okay. So in order for that to work, I think we need to go ahead and do our, didn't want to do that. How did I drop those? I don't even know. All right. Don't want it there. Yep. Actually, I think I need these need to be blues. And then we can use a yellow coming out. All right, so this is the next little bit of effort I'm doing on through here, putting in the getting my basic building block. Again, I'm sure you've probably seen this set up before. I could have created, dropped a blueprint of this and used that, but I wanted to build it out myself to really focus on the ratios and everything that goes along from there. At this point, we're just going to go ahead and run some power down there so we can get things tested, and we'll see where we go from here.
1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, that's probably a good place for it.
We'll call it there. All right. And I think I decided I want these belts going the other way. And it looks like that's working. Okay, so I need to copy this and put it on the other side here. There we go. And is that going to work? If I turn the belt around. Yes. And that should give us a full belt of green. Now, what we want to do here is make sure we have that lined up. I want to make sure I have that one lined up. All right. Green circuits are ready to go. Let us extend our belts a little bit. And see if this is tileable. A lot of in-game commentary on this episode. I'll probably keep that to a minimum. I actually like the voiceover. Let me know what you think in the comments if you want me to do voiceover or in-game commentary in the moment. Willing to do it either way, and we'll come back to the in-game commentary in just a second. Okay, let me pull this out. And green circuits. Two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I got 20 factories.
Let's just go ahead and run it and see how it works.
This is why I want bots. Okay, so now we have green circuits on the belt. Check that off my list. The next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and drag this stuff a little further to the north. All right. I'm also going to need some belts heading this way. So that would be in this neck of the woods. All right. And that's for my red science because I'm going to put my lab array right down here. All right, and I'm going to have to rebuild this, but this will get me my green and red sciences through, because I'm going to bring those in on a single belt. If I am bringing them in on a single belt, do I want to split them off and run it that way? Something like that. Sure, that looks good. All right, so what do I want for my red science goal here? What if I shoot for 60 a minute? I think that's a good number. And let's see if we can build something here that can give us that. All right. So what do I need for red science? Red science just needs copper plate and gears. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. How much of each does it need? 1 and 1. Okay, pretty straightforward. So let's see here what gears. So 1 iron plate makes 2 gears, takes half a second of crafting time. This takes 5 seconds, so in half a second I can get 2, right? So that means in a full second I get 4, and in 5 seconds I get 20. So I get 20 gears out in 5 seconds. And is that right? Yep. 20 gears out in 5 seconds. So I should be able to handle 10 easily, I think, off of one of those things. So let's go ahead and do that. So there's one. Why do I keep 2? Don't want to build these close. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And how do I want my belts to run? Well, I'm definitely going to put in here, and let's go out there. So if I do that, my iron just needs to come up to here. And then I can have iron coming out here. And where do I want to route the copper? How if we route the copper like this? Interesting sounds there. need something like this. We want to do something like that. And let's start putting those in and get a couple of lights. Okay. Takes 5 seconds to get out, so a yellow coming out should be fine. And if we do that, how's that working? Oh, not working yet because I don't have power. All right, red science is coming out and it's getting passed through. Looking good. Now we need to do a little bit of green science. All right, I want to put the green science onto this belt as well. So the green sciences will be here. Roughly in this area. We may have to take it a little further down. I don't know, because for green science, logistics science, I guess I call it by the real name, I need transport belts and inserters. Okay. So for transport belts and inserters, let's do that. No, one more in between. I'll do something like that. I'll have my transport belt and my inserter. Oh, wrong inserter. These need gears and iron plate. These need gears, iron plate, and green circuits. Okay, so how can I do something like that? Okay, so I definitely need a new gear machine here. And what do you take here? Just the 2 items there. Okay, iron plate, gears, and green circuits. So, how many gears does it take? 1 gear every... It takes half a second of craft time. So I pretty much need a gear machine for each one of those. So that makes it a little bit easier. What am I doing here? Okay, is that too far? Okay, that's something like that. That'll be something like that. Inserters. And so I need to get iron plate and green circuits up to these guys. I can bring iron plate in here in the middle. So if I bring iron plate in like this, I got an idea. What's the crafting time on these? Half a second, so I need it fast. And I'm going to need green circuits over here. And I think that's it, because if I do that, okay. Add another one right there so I don't make a mistake. Then I'll figure out where this goes. You know,
Alright. So I'm gonna put that there for measurement. Alright. There we go. And one of these. Now we need that.
don't know why I took a blueprint if I'm not going to use it.
Very nice. dokey. Now I need green circuits up here. Drop a light in the middle here. How many of these do I need? About, I think it looks like it's 12 over here on my calculator. Ooh, I need one more.
Yeah, but I also need to restock on some other things too. Alright, so probably get 50 of those, 100 of those, pick up another 50 of those, up 50 of those. Doing okay on splitters. Let's go pick up all of that, and undergrounds would still done pretty good on. All right. Green science takes 6 seconds of crafting time. So yellows are fine for here. Drop another light right there. And if I do that and this, science. Is everybody crafting? Yes, they are. Let's take a ride around here and work through this. Three, 4, 5, 6. Started. Looky there. Automation 2 is running. All right, guys. So looks like I have got my red and green science going. We'll go ahead and work our way through the tech tree here. As you can see, we basically have our engines, little electric distribution, fluid handling, get the sulfur and plastic. After sulfur and plastic, I need to do advanced circuits, which are the red circuits, batteries, chemical science, which is blue, advanced oil processing to get the lubricant, and then we got electric engines, robotics, construction robots, logistic robots. All right, so we're going to let this run for a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to be looking at my next section, which would be oil processing. So, Do I have oil processing right now? I do not. Okay, there's oil processing. Have to do fluid handling before I can get to oil processing. Got it. Okay, so we're going to let this science run for a little bit, get up through the text tree here. While I'm doing that, my next thing that I'm going to have to do is actually get the oil brought up from down here and bring it up into this area. I'll probably put it right down. I may move it right up into here. I'll have to think where I want to put the oil processing. If I want to just process it down here to the south and then run pipes up north, that's one thing I could do. Or I could pipe the crude oil up here to the north and then do the oil processing up here. Decisions. All right. Well, either way, this has been a good episode. Thanks for hanging out with me. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. It really does help the channel out. If you would, just ask for that and give me a thumbs up, put a comment down there. Let me know what you think, and we'll catch you next time around. Everybody, have a good day. Goodbye.